By the way, you guys remember how we did that? Anybody want me to show it again? Or you can go back on the videos from those classes in the past. But you guys all got really good at being able to reject artifacts, right? Okay, and if not, we can work on it. You're definitely going to work on it through here. Okay, and so what it'll allow us to do, okay, is, so basically what your steps are going to be is you're going to, one, load the data set for your subject. Okay. Your second step is you're going to do artifact rejection. Okay. Within that, you're going to save it with your file name that has an ending that, what did we use before? Did we say AR or artifact rejection? Art. Artreg. Okay, so you're going to have that file name underscore artreg dot set or whatever, right? So the first step, and then what do we do after the artifact rejection? You create ERP average for the individual. Absolutely, good job. 3. Create ERP average. Okay, so just as a reminder, this is done in EEG lab GUI. Now this is done in ERP lab GUI. Right? You guys remember those subtle little differences in the menus? Okay. So we're going to create an ERP average. Then what do we do after we create an ERP average? Bin operations. Right? Bin operations. And then after bin operations, right, you want to save your ERP file. Did we do anything else then? Huh? Yeah, you can plot them if you want to see them, but ultimately then you're going to do that for, all subjects, and then from there you're going to create your grand average. And from your grand average, now you're going to plot your ERPs. You're going to plot your topos, and then of course you're going to do ERP measurement tool, right? Which is basically stats. Okay, so for one subject, you're going to do these 5 steps, right? Then once you get done with those 5 steps for all the subjects that you want to do, for all your subjects, you're going to create a grand average, you're going to plot your ERPs, you're going to plot your topography maps. Now one of the things I noticed in the papers is people plotted topography maps, but only of single conditions. We got to remember that topography maps need to be plotted for the subtraction of the 2 different conditions that you showed on ERPs. Right? We want to show the difference waves. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind in your revision. So you want to plot those to show that differential activity. And then of course we want to run our statistics, so we need to use the ERP measurement tool. So those are going to be your steps. Okay? A couple tips that I would recommend doing. Okay? Use a unique folder. Okay, so keep all this within, say, the new folder that we download. Basically, you don't want to contaminate this new project into the folder where all your old data is. Because remember how much of a mess our old data, all the files, you get them everywhere and you got all these crazy names? Keep that mess somewhere else. We're going to have a whole new mess now for this stuff. So we got to keep it different. It's a really, really useful tip. Okay? So use a unique folder for this. And, just like before, it might even be useful to have a folder within it for our EEG data and one for your ERPs. And then you might create another folder for stats or, you know, whatever. So those are some tips of things that can be very useful. Sound good? Okay. So, are there questions on this?
So we're doing this, like, for example, like for 30.
Yeah, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to grab 30 subjects. So remember, we have... Okay. So, we want, right now you have a total sample size of 58. What do you think? 30 is a pretty good number, you guys feel like? Okay. That way you don't have to go through and artifact reject all 58. Sound fair? Okay. So, let's find, within that 58, an N of 30, your choice, any of the 30 you want. I would download the entire folder first, and then just pick those 30. Okay? And then I would put the other ones that you're not using, and like create another folder, say subject not used or something like that. Just so you can help to, trust me, it'll keep your sanity clear a little bit, because we're going to have a lot of files. Sound good? Okay. So let's shoot for 30 young controls. Okay? And now we also know that we're going to need a sample size of 6 for our age-matched controls. Right? And we know that we're going to need a sample of 3 Hippo, Campbell, amnesia patients. Yes?
Are the age matched and the applications part of the 15?
Yes. That's why they're all embedded.
And do we know the numbers?
I'm going to tell you that right now. But no is the answer. You don't know that yet. But I'll just tell you. There's no big secret, but I just trying to keep things structured and just work through one thing at a time. So, okay, so the sample size of 6 age-matched controls are subject numbers '80 through '87. I want to write that down so you know which ones that you need to use. Those are very special subjects. The controls are very important because what if we find that the hippocampal patients are impaired in something? Well, that means we can't prove that they're impaired unless our 6 age-matched controls are not impaired, which is still a really, really low sample size. How many of you guys have had a class with Dr. Riggs? None of you guys? He would probably kick me out of this room for a sample size of 6 people. He's a statistics professor. Mm-hmm. He's very tough. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yes. I have a
okay.
Yes.
So would he allow you to pass his class with a sample size of 6 people?
No.
No. Exactly, right? Because 6 is very low and it's very difficult to find reliable effects in 6 people. Okay, so we need to be precision specialists from here forward. Because we are working with very, very delicate data that is very important. If one of your 6 subjects is not processed well, or has errors or artifacts included, you might not be able to have enough signal to noise to find significant effects. And if you don't have significant effects in the controls, then you can't say anything about deficits that might be present in the patients. You guys see how important that is? Okay, so 80 to 87, very important subjects. Treat them very delicately. Okay? Our hippocampal amnesia patients are subjects number 90, 91, or actually it's not 90, I think it's 91, 92, and 93. Okay, here, I'll write that a little bit more clean. That's so sloppy. Subjects number 91, 92, and 93. Okay? That means that out of our initial 58 subjects, subjects number 3 through, I guess, I forget how many, there might be 50, through the 50s, I forget the exact number. These are our healthy young controls. And you're going to grab 30 out of the 58. Just to get, yeah, I'm sorry? 55? Okay, thanks. Just going to erase that, turn that. A big fat 5. Sound good? How does this sound with you guys? This is really just a lot of organizational information, but hopefully you guys can appreciate that the organizational stuff is really important, right? Because we've gotten lost sometimes when we got behind on the organizational stuff. So if you get this down, everything will be good. Yes, love?
I didn't mean to cut you.
It's okay.
So for the hippocampal amnesia patients, how do we go about, I haven't looked at it yet, but as far as artifact rejection, are we having to reject differently?
It's a really, really good question. So if anybody didn't hear Lovis' question, she asked that for the hippocampal amnesia patients, how do you go about artifact rejection? Is there something different about it that you should be more careful or unique about in managing that data? And the general answer is no. You want to process them exactly the same. Now you do want to be more sensitive and delicate because this is really delicate data, and you'll see that there's 1 or 2 of these patients that are actually really messy data. Okay? So it introduces us to some elements about conducting clinical studies using electrophysiology. One of the big challenges in doing clinical work with electrophysiology is that the physiological signal can be a lot messier. Sometimes patients have other conditions happening on it. So hypertension, for example, maybe they're a little tense, right? So they have tension, they're going to have more EMG, right? Now, do you throw away all the trials with EMG just because they're tense? You can't really afford to do that because you don't have enough people, right? You need every single one of these people, and you need every single one of these trials that you can get, right? With 3 people, there is 0 room for error. Seriously. So, this is why it took me 5 years to test 3 people, because there is 0 room for error. You must be on point, on target, and executing flawlessly when you do this. Or, I mean, you're screwed with it, right? A mistake, 2 people is not a group, that's not a trend, that's just a line. You need 3 people to be able to make a line or a group or a trend statistically, right? So it's really, really important. If you screw it up with one person, it's very, very difficult. So failure is not an option. Yes, Victor?
I have a question for the hippocampal patients.
Yeah.
Do we have the demographic on or you?
Yeah, it's published in the papers, basically.
Oh, okay, just use that.
Yeah.
For the ages. Okay.
Yeah. So, You want to be very delicate working through that data, Fitria, because basically you want to treat it identically, right? But at the same time, you need to be sensitive to some of these clinical factors, right? We do need trials, which means that you got to be really careful. Every time you throw one out, it might mean that the data could no longer be significant anymore, because you might need that just enough signal to noise ratio to be statistically significant. So, what I would recommend doing is processing through these subjects first, these subjects second, and save these guys for the last when your eyes are trained to be experts. Don't go in there rusty. Go in there after you've already gotten used to working through all the data on these guys so that you're very, very in tune to picking out the different elements that you want to keep or reject. Does that sound good? Yes, Rob?
Just clarifying, with the 3, 2, and 5, we just picked third.
Yeah, pick your favorite third. Yeah. Is what I would do. So anyways, that's the big idea, and we will see if you guys can get enough trials with the hippocampal amnesia patients. Okay? And I think you can, but it's tricky. It's a tough little course to navigate to get the trials just to be just right. Okay? And so that'll kind of be the idea. Let's see. And we can kind of start with that. If you haven't downloaded that folder, I would download it. And then we can start working on things. Yes, ma'am.
So we can get the channel locations out now, or did you want us to go?
Right now it's fine. I can just check that out right now, actually. So we have this here. It looks like it's all there. Let's say I come here and we do ERP lab. I'm just gonna do reserves. So I'm just creating a crappy file, just a sample file, so I'm just going to name it a bunch of gobbledygook, right? I'm just typing, well, you can't even see that yet up there, but yeah. Let me erase the board here. So I just named it a bunch of crap, and I'm just saving an ERP file, just to test to see if the channel locations are logged in there correctly. Hit OK. Okay. And then I will let me add some bin operations there on that. Okay, so we're seeing that the bins are being mounted so that I can pick a couple bins to plot some ERPs of. Do you guys remember last class? We worked on that. I showed you that function to plot the ERPs in the right spots on the head. That'll tell us if our channel locations are in the right spot. So I'm just going to do that. But I just need to grab the bin, so I'm just doing it.
You can't go and edit anymore?
Oh, you can. I'm just saying I don't think you need to.
Oh.
I think I already did it.
Oh.
It was a while ago, so this is one way to verify that and just check. How does this project sound overall for you guys? Interesting to work with the clinical data?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you can take whatever your hypotheses are that you wrote your first paper on and now explore how they're affected by damage to the hippocampus. Okay, which is basically a second hypothesis. Pretty good? Just about finishing up here. All right. Cool. So let's plot good forms. Not going to do all bins. Let's just do 82 and 39 for now. and plot the topographic and say plot. No, you know what? Maybe it's not. Doesn't look like they are. So one thing you might have to do is actually go in there and do what we did before. Add that channel, edit the channel list in our data. Tools, what did we use before here? Edit channel locations. Yeah. Well, anyways, we can work on that error later. But yeah, it looks like you might need to add one more point to my instruction list earlier. I thought that we had already done the channel locations. You might just need to do that. Just add it. So you can go back to your notes from when we did that earlier. Just a real easy thing. Save that in. How does that all sound? Pretty good? Okay. So that takes us to about 2 hours for today. I feel like I've talked for a lot. I think you feel that way too. I'd like a break, and I think that you probably would as well. Maybe let's take a rest, and we'll basically go till 3. Basically, I'll be here till 3 to talk with you guys individually about your papers, about your projects, about your hypotheses, about your discussion, your ideas, your theoretical ends, and then working with this stuff. Does that sound like a good plan? Okay, let's do that. Oh yeah.
Ryan has a question.
Oh, it's me.
Brian.
Sorry. Yeah. It's
Who's it by? Just where did you like just find it like site info?
no, I don't know. I think we're doing. I don't know.
I think you said you guys were.
Okay, it's this one. It's like 77.
That's okay. I just want to like be able to look.
Yeah, it has like really good. It's 8.
And it's not 80 either. It's 80. I just put 80.
Can you send like a just send like a copy of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Just because I'd love to be able to like at least look through it over there.
We're good?
I know.
Oh, do you prefer it that way?
Yeah.
Oh.
He does that.
Okay. So, do you have a student? Because I'm just give you the one that's just give. Okay, bookworm, all one word. 0527 at gmail.com. And I'll just like save it on my computer. Thank you so much. I just wanted to ask about that.
It's not. I don't.
Yeah, no, I
Retaining to like read. Oh no, see, I like, because I had to understand, so I was listening to my head.
Or yeah, no, if I need to flesh something out a little bit,
Yeah,
I'll go to that specific
yeah,
section. For the most part,
but that's
I really
really
am.
like review one. It breaks it down to like sections.
Okay, that's cool, because then, yeah. 2001?
No, it's 2000. This is really yeah, it's like, he's an easy.
How'd you know the paper?
I got it.
You didn't get it figured out yet?
No,
Oh, okay, so you...
excuses.
Oh my god, no, literally last week, and this is why I'm happy, because I didn't want to be like overconfident, but I also because I just was like, I don't have any questions, so I just wanted to be library quiet. And I worked on like editing and fixing it, making it, nice. It was due at 11:59 and I finished at 8:30 p.m. officially. I also had a class that had an exam that day. Last week was insane. I'm surprised I'm not just multitasking massive glue, just rolling around and meandering about.
Oh yeah, because like I have a stomach bug. I just had a virus that Wednesday. I ended up having to. I had a fever. I ended up having to. I'm doing the makeup lab for the makeup exam So
I'm sorry, that really sucks. Wait, do you have? Yeah, you
yeah,
have.
so I ended up like, and it was just I was and then I called because she never sent me an email. Like, he's like, he was great letter.
I guess, like,
She was like, don't worry about it. She's like, yeah.
Don't worry about it.
She just sent me
To
the
this,
letter.
because
So I
we
did the
interacted
letter.
like a lot.
Dude, you had a reason. You had a legitimate reason. But no, it was just like, I'm surprised I made it through it. I'm just, oh my god, it was crazy.
And then
I would just do artifact projection because
Yeah.
no, because when you do artifact projection, you say that you have that, you don't have that.
I would just go on the articles, because all I use is references. And it's like shit.
How does that game plan look for you, Logan? Make sense?
Okay.
Feel like something you can do? Okay. So keep in good communication. Let me know when I can come by and help and give you boosts. Sound good? It just has some really cool ideas.
So literally just do well in the next article and we'll be like,
Yeah,
no, I just want to do one more thing. No, it's not like it's. Same with, I gotta see it.
And
So my grades still.
I was thinking there is a possibility to tie it.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. You don't let your own creativity.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure how.
Oh, yeah, no, he's not full of this one.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
well, you could say that you could look at the pre-stimulus activity that we've been talking about, and you could have a question about does are subjects using pre-stimulus, or excuse me, are subjects using working memory to prepare for the different job? Is that your So you might ask, you might do the literature search, find out what are some ERP patterns, remember, where on the head, what are the shape of their patterns on the head, what's it look like? People use working memory, EEG, right? And then build a hypothesis that says, we think that maybe subjects are using working memory before the task happens because they get that little fixation process. Maybe that fixation process is making them pull that in line of getting or in line. So if you say, our hypothesis is that they're using working memory to prepare for the upcoming trial. Therefore, we expect to see this well-known pattern. What other people have found ERP effects of working memory are, we expect to see that in the people. So with for stimulus, we hypothesize that we will see that whatever it is, temporal parietal pattern of activity or stimulus. And you'll have to think about what conditions you have to contrast to see that. Your deal. There may be times when they remembered versus forgotten because maybe the times they remembered are because they remembered the instructions. Memory because they forgot or times they weren't. So maybe that would be a reason why you would see what the memory difference is. So that's one way to think your way through it. But you have to know what some of those patterns are in the literature and give yourself a hypothesis. And then you can check to see if that is the same or different in chemical.
Yeah, you remember
Yeah.
That would be
and free reference. The best.
No, it's just, so let's say you're comparing history correct projections, right? There have been 82 correct. You don't want to show the topography. You want to show the topography. You don't want to be too honest.
Yeah, that was it, Leslie was like,
Oh,
been in there since.
Once.
But all you have to do is grab your legs and you'll find that VIN number for that. Or just ask one of your friends if they're all doing the same thing. They know the number for that.
My sister loves it. She always wants to